Welcome back, everyone, here to Bronx Talks. Today, me and Christian are going to be giving you some over-unders for the Yankees here in the 2025 season. We're going to be talking about the Yankees roster, our excitement, the concerns we have, and the overall prediction that we have for how the Yankees will finish in 2025. First off, it's really good to be back. It's been a long time since we've done a live, and we're really excited about it. And not only that, we're really excited about Yankees baseball. A Yankees game will be played in the Bronx in less than 24 hours. Carlos Rodon is going to be taking the mound for the New York Yankees. I'm certainly pumped about it. I'm really excited. I'm ready to go. Got the Anthony Volpe jersey on right now. But Christian, how are you feeling? How you doing tonight? And how excited are you for opening day?
I'm really excited. I got a little bit of like the adrenaline today, and then it's getting real. Like we're finally gonna get to see them play. I it was a tough off season because last year was very World Series or bust, and we made the World Series, but we didn't win it, and then we lost our second best player. So, the offseason was kind of weird. I overall actually think the Yankees did really well, and I think they're in a great spot. Obviously, the Cole injury affects things a lot, and it makes you a little bit of a worse team than last year. But I think they did get better. Their rotation. Look, if they didn't go out and sign Freed, and then we got dealt with this Cole injury, that would have meant something. But the rotation should be fine. The offense is going to be interesting. I do think it's a lot more well rounded. And then the bullpen, I actually think is a little bit better. So, look,
Yeah.
it's going to be a fun season. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I'm really pumped. I think, you touched on the Yankees lineup being more well rounded. I'd have to agree with you. And it's really interesting. One thing that I think everyone's taking note of is Christian, the Yankees are actually a little bit more left handed than that. They are more left handed than they are right handed. There's a lot of left handed hitters. And it seems like for a decade now, Yankee fans have been saying, get more lefties. We need more lefties. We need more balance in the lineup. The Yankees got that now. They have a lot of left-handed hitters. It fits in with Yankee Stadium with the short porch. But, the Yankees are still trying to go out there and get a right-handed bat. It seems the Yankees have maybe become a little too left-handed, but they do have two switch hitters in their lineup. They got Dominguez and they got, Cabrera. So we'll see how that goes. I think I'd have to agree with you though. The lineup is more balanced. The rotation, I do have some concerns there with the injuries that we have there. And then the bullpen, I think the bullpen's going to be really good. I think it's the strong suit of this team. You bring in an elite closer in Devin Williams. That's going to be a big upgrade. We saw how dominant Luke Weaver was last year. Tim Hill was exceptional as well. We're going to have him back. And Christian, not only that, the bullpen right now, as it looks, is really good, but they have some guys coming back. They got Jonathan Lasiga, Jake Cousins, Ian Hamilton. So they have a lot of guys in the mix for the bullpen. They got a lot of depth there as well. They just added Ryan Yarbrough. So we'll see how that turns out. That should be exciting there. I really, really like the bullpen. And I think, we look at the Yankees offensively. I think there's a lot of high ceilings for just about everyone in the lineup. We could go up, 1 through 9 and be like, oh, this guy could have a really, really good year. But I think ultimately we don't totally know what to expect from the
Yeah.
Yankees lineup 1 through 9. And I think, like you said, I think you said in this previous video, something like that. I'd have to agree. I think the Yankees are going to be in a lot of close games this season. And, if that's the case, we're going to need a really good bullpen to, shut it down, shut the door. So I think that's really going to help the Yankees out. And I would expect the Yankees to be using their bullpen early on in the season because they're short on starting pitchers, right? We got Will Warren and we got Carlos Carrasco. Both those guys weren't expected to be in the rotation during the season, even Marcus Stroman as well. So I would expect the Yankees to go to that bullpen early. Not totally drain it though, but look, we'll see how everything plays out. I'm really excited about the season, and I can't wait to get it started.
Yeah, let's get right into the over unders. First up, Ryan, let's start with the win total and kind of a tough one, 85.5. Feels low, just as a Yankee fan, it feels low because I think we're all expecting to be in the postseason, and that's a borderline postseason team. But look, we don't have a race. We lost Juan Soto. Where do you think they're gonna fall?
Christian, I've been going back and forth on this. I don't think I don't know if the Yankees get to 90 wins. I think there's going to be times where this team can be inconsistent. I think, like I said before, there's a ton of guys that have high ceilings that could have really, really good years for the Yankees, and that's exciting. But I think there's a lot of unknown with this Yankees team. Hey, yeah, these guys could go out, these guys could have exceptional years. Do I know they're going to do that? Does their back of their baseball card support that? Do they have some metrics that maybe point them in that direction? Yeah, but who ultimately knows what's going to happen? So I do think the Yankees win more than that. I'm going to have to take the over on that, but not by much. I think the Yankees are an 87, 88 win team. I think they creep up there to 90 wins. I don't totally know if they get it, but I would put them at 87, 88 wins. Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on this one. I mean, partially Yankee fan, but I do think 85 is a little bit low. Or they're projected 86. Look, I think it's gonna be a gritty season, and I've said that before. I don't think it's a. I would max this team out at probably 93 wins, which is a lot different from last year, but it is still a fundamentally good team all around. Um, they're gonna have their struggles, definitely. There's gonna be an August stretch or June, whenever, but I think they're cracking 85 wins or 86 wins at least. Uh, Next up, we have Cody Bellinger, I believe.
I think so.
Bellinger,
There it
yeah.
is.
Home runs, over under.
27. Now, I think Cody Bellinger, I think he could have a monster year in the Bronx, Christian. I could see him being like a player that the Yankee fans just fall absolutely in love with. Like, I think this guy could really put up crazy stats, crazy numbers for the Yankees. I mean, what he's doing in spring, what he did in spring training was just unbelievable. And I know it's just spring training, but I mean, every time he steps in the box, it felt like he was getting a hit, picking up a base hit, putting the ball in play. He doesn't strike out much, which is good, Christian. He hit over 300, I think, in 2023. 27 home runs is a lot. I believe last year he hit 18 with the Cubbies. He does have the short porch this year. I think Cody Bellinger, I'm going to take the under. I think he hits around, 25 home runs or so, but I do think that he has a very solid batting average. I do think the batting average numbers are going to go up. I think he's going to put the ball in play, drive in a lot of runs. I think he's going to be a really, really good player for the Yankees this year. I could potentially see him being an all-star. And now I did take the under on this, Christian, but I would not be shocked if this guy goes out here and hits 35 bombs and is the Yankees' second best hitter. I would not be surprised at all. I think he has the potential to do that. I mean, you look what he's doing in spring training; it's unbelievable, unbelievable. I think he's excited to be a Yankee, but I will take the under for this one.
Yeah, I'm also gonna take the under. He's gone over that total once in his career or twice in his career, 2017, 2019. I do think I'm interested what we're gonna get. I'll say that from Bellinger, and I see both sides of the spectrum. I see the scenario where he loves Yankee Stadium, he finds that short porch all the time, and he goes over it. And then I also see, a Joey Gallo story. So I,
Wow.
you know, and obviously, look, what it would be very hard to be as bad as Gallo was. But I guess my point is, I feel like Goldschmidt, we kind of know what we're gonna get. we're going to get good defense and then probably a 750 OPS guy, maybe closer to 800. Bellinger, I feel like, is a little bit different. I just think he has a little bit more wild card in him, is what I'd say. Giving his career and then also just coming to Yankee Stadium. Number 8, or our third hot take, not hot take, over under Volpe.
Volpe over under 260 batting average. Last year, what he hit 240 something. I think he's projected to hit like 243 or something like that. If Volpe could bat 260 with the glove that he has, maybe he could get 15, 20 home runs. I would be head over heels, Christian. I would be I would be just I would be the happiest man in the world. I'm wearing his jersey right now. So yeah, why not? We'll take the over on that, and we'll say that Anthony Volpe this year he finally figures it out. He's better offensively. He provides elite defense with the glove, and yeah, I think Anthony Volpe is a good year. So for fun, year 3 for Anthony Volpe, I'm going to take the over on that. I think Anthony Volpe starts putting the ball in play, and who knows? He hits 260, Christian, with his speed and athleticism. If he does hit 260, we will see him at the top of the Yankees lineup batting leadoff in front of Judge. That is what I believe if he's putting up those numbers offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be top 10 shortstop if that was the case, if he's not already. I'm gonna go under. Look, I think he's gonna have another good year, but I just don't see the average jumping that much. You know, he was at 240 last year. Granted, he was 210 the year before. Look, I think he's going to get a little bit better offensively. I think the power is going to come back up a little bit like the first year. Uh, but look, keep in mind, this guy is probably one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball, and that means a lot. So, he past 2 years, he was at an 81 OPS plus and an 86 OPS plus. If he can get that a little bit closer to 100, where he's a little bit below average offensively and then very above average defensively, then he's an asset. So, I'm gonna go under on this one, but I can see it getting closer there, and I still think he provides value to the Yankees.
Absolutely.
Next up, Judge.
Aaron Judge over or under 55 and a half home runs. Now, Aaron Judge, he hit 58 home runs last year. The year before that, 2023, he was injured for a portion of it, still put up 39 bombs in limited play. And then in 2022, guy who goes out there hits 62 home runs. I think Aaron Judge, I don't think he's going to hit more than that this year. I'm not thinking he's taking a step back offensively. I think his offensive numbers are still going to be there, but I just think it's really hard to put up those type of
It is,
home
yeah.
run numbers. Yeah, I mean, these are like generational numbers right here. I think Aaron Judge is, I mean, you look at the stats and look at other players' primes and stuff like that. I think he's one of the greatest right-handed hitters of all time. I mean, he's exceptional. Every I think we take for granted how good he actually is. I mean, season by season. I mean, he's putting up historic type numbers that we really, haven't seen before from a right-handed hitter. Obviously, we've seen in the steroid era, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, McGuire, right? But I mean, Aaron Judge is doing it natural, which is very impressive in its own right. I think it's just, I just, it's not anything with Aaron Judge. I think his offensive numbers are going to be there. I just think the likelihood is just not as likely to do that again. I have him hitting, anywhere from 45 to 50 home runs this season. I still think he's going to be right there near 50. But Christian, would I be surprised if he goes out there and hits 55 plus home runs? No. Would I be surprised if he goes out there and hit 60 home runs? No, because he's done that before
Yeah.
and he's proven he can do that. So I'm not saying it can't happen. It very much could. And if it does, the Yankees will be in a great spot. But I'll take the under on this.
Yeah, I'll say screw it. I'll go over. I mean, like statistically, past 3 years, he's gone over that line twice, and he would have if he didn't get injured in 2023. It was kind of, I kind of have the same philosophy as I did for my hot take, because Judge would be the only player I think to repeat or have back to back 10 war seasons. And it's crazy to think about, but then you just think about he does it as long as he's healthy. He does it every time. So why doubt the man? I'm going over. To your point, though, I mean, if he doesn't have Juan Soto behind him anymore, he could just get walked half of his at bats. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We're gonna need someone to step up, whether it's Belly, Jazz, Goldschmidt. But yeah. Next up, we have Carlos Carrasco. Okay.
Yeah.
Over.
Over under 6.5 starts. I'm gonna take the. See, this depends who gets back.
I
You're gonna have Clark Schmidt back. I think Will Warren plays better in the bullpen, opposed to Carlos Carrasco, who's 37 years old. And Carlos Carrasco had a great spring, so I feel like whoever is going to be the better pitcher is going to stay in the rotation. I think it just makes more sense that Will Warren will find his way in the bullpen. The Yankees can also like send him down too, and I'll take the.
well,
I'll
okay.
take
Well,
the
let's
under.
work together on this one.
Okay, we'll work
How
together.
how
I
long
take
is
it back.
Clark Schmidt going to be out for?
I would say probably I think couple weeks,
Couple
14,
weeks. So, he's
because he's
guaranteed
gonna
to.
have to get built back up, maybe 3 weeks, something like that.
So Carrasco's pretty much guaranteed 3 weeks in the rotation, and then after that, it's a matter, really of how he pitches. But he's got 4 starts right there, and then you gotta imagine they'd keep Carrasco. What if they potentially sent him to the bullpen,
I
and
don't.
then he's still on the team for the next pitcher to go down?
I just don't think he plays out of the bullpen though. Like opposed to Will
And does
Warren.
Will Warren have options?
Yeah,
Then I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, if Carrasco's pitching remotely well,
yeah.
because
They signed Carrasco to a major league deal.
yeah, and I just don't think the Yankees would want to screw themselves if they cut Carrasco and then another pitcher goes down and they're reaching even further into their depth, which they already don't really have. So I'm going over.
Yeah. Okay. I'll join you on that. I'll go over. I'll change it.
All right. Next up, we have Carlos Rodon.
Christian, I'm saying it right off the bat. I'm going under. I'm going under. Carlos Rodon, he's going to be getting a lot of action this year. He led the Yankees last year with 16 wins. Led the staff. Look, it's a big year for Carlos Rodon, Christian. I believe this is year 3 for Carlos Rodon. He was injured big portion of 2023. Did not have a good 2023 at all. Then last season, put together a solid year. Had a really good start in the ALCS against the Guardians. I think it was the longest a Yankee starter has gone in the playoffs in quite some time. Maybe said CC the complete game against the Orioles in Game 5, ALDS 2012. I think it's a really. I've said this on the other video. I think this is a pivotal year for Carlos Rodon. I mean, he's getting paid the big bucks. Garrett Cole goes down. I mean, let's go. Like, this is the year, I think, for Carlos Rodon. He's getting the opening day start. I think he knows he has to go out there and shove. And year 3, he's not getting any younger. So, maybe he has that mindset. All right, let me put the Yankees on my back here. We got to find ways to win games. And you mentioned this too. All the pressure can't be on Max Fried. I mean, this guy is coming to the New York Yankees. There's a lot of pressure with that already. Max Fried, yes, he's going to be the ace, even though Carlos Rodon is starting game 1. He's going to be the guy the Yankees rely on, but Max Fried can't be the guy that the Yankees are like, save our season. I think, I don't know. at least to start the season. The bottom line I'm trying to say, Christian, is Carlos Rodon has to take some of the pressure off Max Fried. He has to go out there and perform. I think he will. I think he has a really good season this year for the Yankees. And I'm going to call it right now, Christian. My prediction, this is going to be the best season he will have with the Yankees. I think he's going to have a really, really good year this year. So I'll take the under. I think his ERA is under 4.
I like that. Uh, yeah, I'll say this. I would be so worried if we didn't have Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. Yankee fans were now expecting him to pick up his own weight and Garrett Cole's. So thank God we are not in that situation because I think that would have been a recipe for disaster for him, the team, literally everything. I actually think he's going to thrive. He has another really talented lefty in the rotation that he can work with, in terms of scouting hitters and all that. And, it's his third season. We saw him get a little bit more comfortable last year. He also has an experience of playing in the postseason with the Yankees now. And I think, between being more acclimated and just continuing to work on his stuff, because I think we saw some mechanical and even pitch mix changes last year, when maybe in his past he could just go fastball, changeup, they're always on, and he doesn't have to worry about anything else. I want to say he added a sinker though last year, and
Yeah.
over the slider I thought even looked a little bit better. I just think he became a little bit more of a pitcher last year, and that's just going to continue to help him. So he's going to be 32 this year. Age shouldn't be a problem yet. As long as he can stay healthy, I am also going under on this one. Next up, Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt. 90.5 RBIs.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Goldie's going to be putting up some big numbers. We got that going. He's going to be batting in the middle of the Yankees lineup, right? He's got Bellinger in front of him. He's got Judge in front of him. He'll have Wells at the top. Wells, he's been exceptional. We'll get to him.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt, he's 37 years old, right? He's looked good defensively at first base this spring. He puts up those type of numbers, Christian. The Yankees are going to have a lot of wins. They're going to be in a good spot. Paul Goldschmidt's driving in, 90 plus RBIs at the age 37 years old, picking it at first base. Yeah, Yankees going to be in a really good spot. And who doesn't want the Yankees to be in a really good spot? I want the Yankees to be in a really good spot. So I'm going to have to take the over on this. And who knows? Maybe the Yankees get 2022 Paul Goldschmidt National League MVP. We all know he's best friends with Judge. And some of that Judge magic is going to rub off on Paul Goldschmidt. Give me 25 bombs from him too, Christian.
Wow. I'm pretty much in agreement. I think he's gonna have a really good year with the Yankees. I think him and Judge is gonna be like the new Judge and Rizzo dynamic. I think they're gonna feed off of each other perfectly. I remember seeing, I think it was like a John Boy breakdown, either last year or 2 years ago, of Judge sort of copying Goldschmidt's two-strike approach by eliminating the big leg kick. So I really just think Goldschmidt's going to thrive with the Yankees. I'm going over. I think he's going to have second most RBIs on the team. I'm really excited for Goldie, bottom line.
Me too.
Devin Williams, I mean,
Under.
Like,
Absurd.
What's it? Isn't his career ERA under?
It's under 2. He's 1.83 career ERA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, Devin Williams. I mean, Christian, I don't know. You've been giving off this vibe to me. I think this is my own personal prediction. I think the player you're most excited for this season is Devin Williams.
I think it's Goldie first. It's Goldie and then Devin Williams. Yeah, because I don't know why I'm so high on him, but I just feel like he's just so fundamental. I always liked Paul Goldschmidt, But
Yeah.
Devin Williams also, I think half of it's excitement that Clay Holmes is gone, and then the other half is excitement that Devin Williams is here
Yeah.
because it's such a big upgrade. And this guy also just has filthy stuff. So, not to keep bringing up Clay Holmes, but everything that you hated about Clay Holmes with the ground balls, then you have people yelling at you saying that he's getting unlucky. That's all gone.
Oh
This guy
my
just
god.
strikes people out. So,
The unlucky with Clay Holmes. I mean, what did he blow? 13 saves last year. The unlucky thing. I mean, Clay Holmes was just he was not. He was just a very frustrating player. He's just very frustrating. I think Devin Williams is under 3.
well, I will
Um,
say the one thing about Clay Holmes. I can't believe we're talking about him. But I
that you
do
own
think
his jersey. Christian owns his jersey.
crazy. But I do think he was going to thrive as a starter.
You think so?
Because the whole unlucky argument, like it didn't come out of nowhere. It was fair. It was,
Hmm.
he would have an inning where there'd be weak contact and they score. So over, 6 innings of starting pitching, he's not going to have these outings where it's like a blow up, which
Yeah.
is pretty much my opinion. And then
Yeah.
also, because like he was getting unlucky, but that doesn't matter when you blow a 2-run lead in the ninth.
Yeah. Also, with him being a starting pitcher, he's going to be pitching more innings and he's going to be pitching every 5 days, maybe every fifth day, right? But maybe that can help him get a better feel of the sinker. Like, because that was always a thing. Like, if he didn't get used for a long time, he'd come in there, pitch an inning, he'd be all erratic, hit batters, be all over the place. Maybe by throwing more innings, facing more hitters, he can get in a better groove with that sinker, be able to, master it better. So it's always on its A game. I could see it. I don't know if my concern with him is I don't know if he could get through like 5 innings or something like that. And Mets give him credit; they're trying an experiment, and it could work out really well for them. I don't totally know what to expect from him. I believe he's still I believe he's the Mets opening day starter. They'll be in Houston, right? Taking on the Astros. So yeah, I mean, if you would have told us last year, like when the Yankees were starting on opening day against the Houston Astros, that a year later in the same city, that Juan Soto would be playing right field for the Mets and Clay Holmes would be the Mets opening day starter, I'd be like, what? Like
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy.
I,
It's
I, w- I would have thought that the Mets just went crazy and just signed every single free agent possible, but it's kind of the opposite. All
but
right, let's get to the next one. 3 All Stars, or I guess should we do
can I
3.5 All Stars?
yeah, however you want to do
Yeah,
it.
3.5. So do we think they go at 3 or 4?
I think they get 3. And I'll break it down for you. I was about to just take the middle bet there, Christian. It was over under at 3. I was
I
just
get.
about to,
You know what? Yes, let's keep the line at 3.
let's keep the line at
If it
3.
hits
I'll
at
take the
3, then we get our money back.
we want the money back. So we'll take the middle bet there. And Christian, I think the Yankees are going to have 3 All-Stars this season. I do think the Yankees have potential to have more. Like we said, the whole lineup, we'll get to that later on, but they have a lot of guys that can have high ceilings. I think Aaron Judge is a lock, right? Aaron Judge, I mean, come on. The guy's on the field, he's going to make the All-Star team. Number 99, the captain, right? I think Aaron Judge is the lock. Devin Williams, one of the best relief pitchers in the game. If he's getting his action, he's going to be very solid. So I feel like Devin Williams is going to be a lock. So that's 2 All Stars right there. And that third spot, Christian, is left open for another Yankees bat to make the All Star team. That guy could be Austin Wells. That guy could be Jazz Chisholm Jr. That guy could be Cody Bellinger. That guy could be Anthony Volpe. That guy could be Jason Dominguez. That guy could be Paul Goldschmidt. We could go on and on and on, right? But I am leaving that spot open because I feel like we look down that lineup. There's so many Yankees that could just have breakout seasons this year. And I think one of them's bound to have that at least. So I think one of those guys makes the All-Star team. If I had to bet right now, the most likeliest, I would say Austin Wells because right, he's a catcher. Most catcher, like a lot of catchers, not that great offensively. Adley Rutschman's really good in the American League, but I think Austin Wells is going to put up really good offensive numbers. So I think Austin Wells could definitely find his way in there. So Aaron Judge, a breakout player, Devin Williams, three All Stars for the Yankees heading to Atlanta for the Midsummer Classic.
I like that. I'm throwing Max Fried in there. I think he'll be an all-star. Williams, Judge, Lux, and then I think my pick, yeah, I like Wells. It would either be Wells or Jazz.
Yeah,
Uh,
I like Max Fried, so I'm gonna add him on. So maybe I'm at four, but who cares? We'll get them all. Yankees had
so we're
what,
going over.
six?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going over, and we want to win the World Series. Like Yankees had six All Stars 2022, so you never know.
And one
Maybe
of
I'll be
them
an All Star.
is going to be Austin Wells.
Austin Wells.
Over.
I'm taking the over as well. I
Easily.
mean, come on,
I mean,
come on.
this guy was mashing balls in spring training. I,
I
I,
mean,
I think he's going to have a monster year.
Austin Wells. I mean, he's just incredible. He's incredible. He has that Yankee aura. He reminds me of like I never watched Thurman Munson, but he gives me like Thurman Munson swagger, like vibes. Like Austin Wells is like like he's like a brute, like I don't know. I like his vibe. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but he's got the mustache. He gives me kind of lumberjack vibes. I'm a fan of Austin Wells. Big fan of him. I said a while back when he was in the minor leagues, we had Volpe, we had Dominguez, and we had Wells. And Christian, I said I think Austin Wells is going to be the best out of the three of them. Who knows if that turns out to be true? But I think Austin Wells goes out there. He has a great year for the Yankees. So I'm going to take the over on that.
I like that. I'm going over too. I think he's going to have a monster year. I already said that. I guess we can touch on, I don't know if there's a lot to talk about with the Yankees roster. I mean, the only decision still to be made is Oswald Peraza or a random signee.
Yeah. They literally might like make a trade literally tonight or like tomorrow morning or like in the next couple days after opening day.
Yeah, because
Maybe like yeah, you go.
bullpen set, right?
I think yeah. The bullpen seems like it's pretty much set. Yeah,
Okay, so then yeah, I mean, I guess it's a matter of if they really don't want Oswald Peraza that bad, that they're gonna
yeah.
go out and try and find someone besides
I
him.
could I could honestly see maybe they do throw him on the roster and then literally like 2 days or the next series when the Yankees play Arizona, maybe they find like a trade partner because I think they are trying to bring in a right-handed bat and I mean I don't know like you feel like you'd want to get it done before the season. The Yankees 2023, let's not forget, pulled off a trade. Was it a trade or they signed him? I'm not totally sure. But literally the day before the season, they acquired Franchi Cordero. He was with the Baltimore Orioles that spring, had a great spring training. The Yankees picked him up right before the season. They needed a left-handed bat. They bring in Franchi, had one of the best Linsanity runs I've ever seen. I mean, this guy was just lights out. He's MVP. He's so fun to watch. And then, he wasn't after that. But he did have a nice run. We made a video about him saying Yankees found a weapon in Franchi. So I thought the Yankees were gonna do that this year. I still think they can, but yeah, Christian, the roster hasn't even been released yet. I don't know if other teams around the league have released their
I
roster.
feel like it's usually the night
Yeah,
before.
yeah, I'd
Um,
agree with you.
so I mean, it'll
Yeah,
probably get dropped later. Not much really shocking or anything. I mean, we made a video on Oswald Peraza. You can watch that. We just made it yesterday. We made a video on JC Escara. Uh, let's move right to the excitement and concerns. Ryan, I want to know what you're concerned about this year.
Christian, my biggest concern relies on one man. And that's not his production because I know he's going to put up big production and and big time numbers, but it's the health. And that man is Aaron Judge. And I'm not ultimately concerned. A lot of people said Judge is injury prone. I feel like over the last few years, he's, other than the freak thing in Dodger Stadium, he's proven, he can stay on the field. I think it's going to be better for him early on in the season until Stanton gets back. He could DH. He's going to be playing right field. But my concern is if Aaron Judge misses any sort of time, I think this team could have problems. I know they have a lot of big names in that lineup, but I don't know if they could play without him. I mean, we saw in 2023, granted, I think this lineup's much better than what it was in 2023. But Christian, this team was lost without Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
They were flat out lost. They could not do anything offensively without him. And that really opened everyone's eyes. I think, Christian, that opened the Yankees' eyes that were like, we need to get Juan Soto because our whole team is built around Aaron Judge. And I get it. He's the captain. It should be. But they were so reliant on him. I think if Aaron Judge misses any sort of time, this could be a real big problem for the Yankees, and it could get bad real fast. My second concern, Christian, would be third base. I mean, it reminds me of what the Yankees did in 2023. They didn't go into the season with a left fielder. They tried to do the Aaron Hicks, Oswaldo Cabrera platoon. Aaron Hicks was downright horrible. The Yankees are still paying him money. And then they had Oswaldo Cabrera, who didn't have a good year that season either. Cabrera got off to a good start last season. I think he is what he is. He's a solid player. I think the versatility he gives you, the talent wise with him or the package that he can bring to a ball club, I think is second to none. I mean, I think he's definitely like the most versatile player in the league. He's very, very, very valuable to have on a roster, but I don't see him going out there, putting up big time numbers for the Yankees. I know he's going to give me defense, versatility. Some of his versatility is going to be taken away now if he's rolling out there every day at third base. But they don't have a set third baseman. DJ's on the IL, but you can't give DJ the starting role when he gets back because he isn't proven he can take that. You have Pablo Reyes, right, who looks like he's going to make the team. They haven't officially announced it. We didn't put like a breaking post or anything because it hasn't been like confirmed by anyone major yet. But it looks like he's going to make the team. He had a fantastic spring. He hits left-handers very well. He has a 105 WRC plus in his career against left-handers. So the bottom line is it's going to be a platoon scenario, but I am concerned about that because I could see it being another issue for the Yankees like it was in 2023. I guess it leaves it open for the Yankees to address it at the trade deadline. Oswaldo could move back into a versatility role. He'd certainly be exceptional to have on the bench, but like, I don't know. It reminds me a lot of what they did in 2023. And Christian, you know how many left fielders they had in 2023? They had Jake Bowers, Willie Calhoun, Aaron
Yeah,
Hicks,
it was
Oswaldo
crazy.
Cabrera. Myself, I started a couple games down in Tampa. So it was really just it was a shit show. So we'll see what happens this year, but that'd be my concern. And then I'll let you do your concerns. You return to me for the excitement or stuff like that because I've been talking for a while.
I like the Judge one. I think that's a very reasonable concern because, like, last year, Soto could pick up the slack. I mean, there's also Judge didn't perform that well in the postseason. He wasn't terrible, like some people say, but he wasn't great, and they still got to the World Series. But I think Juan Soto was a big part of that. So the Judge one is definitely scary. You know, if he goes down for 10 plus games, then we're just heavily, heavily relying on, you know, the big three of Jazz, Goldie, Belly. So I'm nervous for that, but also at the same time, on the other hand, I'm excited for that trio because
Mm.
I can see all of them playing exceptionally well and really above their baseball cards. So, concern about Judge excited though for what's behind him. I guess really the only other concern I have just comes with the rotation. Is it strong enough?
Yeah.
Freedom, pretty confident in. I mean, he's just been consistently good his whole career. Rodon, definitely less nervous than last year, uh,
Hmm.
but still a little uneasy. And then kind of the rest of the rotation is what's going on. Clark, hopefully he's healthy this year. If he is, he should be fine. Will Warren, we just don't know what to expect. Stroman, no clue what to expect. And then Luis Heel when he comes back, we hope that he's his last year self. But other than that, look, I think the Yankees they're much better defensively this year. That's important. They have a better bullpen, and then I think their rotation is going to be fine. And once everyone is healthy, I know we don't have Cole, but you know, Heel, Schmidt, I think that rotation's above average, and I think that is a playoff rotation. And then you have the lineup, which we're nervous and excited for, but also you have to look at it. If it's not great, that's what the trade deadline's for. So
Exactly.
assuming the Yankees could go out and make, their farm system's not that great, but they could still pull off one or two trades, I think they'll
Hmm.
be fine. So, excitements and concerns. What are you excited for?
Christian, I'm excited for the Yankees lineup because we look at that Yankees lineup and they have some names. Now, we don't totally know what to expect because, like I said before, a lot of these players in the Yankees lineups have high ceilings, but there's not many guys that have definite, this guy's going to be really, really good. You know what I mean? But look, we got Jazz Chisholm Jr. I mean, I'm gonna list you off the names the Yankees have in their lineup: Jazz Chisholm Jr., Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger, Austin Wells, Jason Dominguez. Right? It goes on and on and on. Anthony Volpe. Like they have names. Like they have guys that like you look at and you're like, oh, of course I know Paul Goldschmidt. I know Aaron Judge. I know Austin Wells. They don't have like nobodies in their lineup. Like they have big names. And if they're a big name, that means they've done something in their career before. Okay. And that's exciting. So I do think they have like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like quality hitters. Like they have quality hitters that know what they're doing up there in that lineup. I'm really excited for Max Fried. I'm really excited about that. I think he's going to be really good for the Yankees. I think him and Rodon at the front. I mean, those two guys have really good track records, so they should be really good. But I'm really excited for the Yankees lineup because I think there's a lot of guys that could just break out. I mean, we have Ben Rice. Ben Rice could hit 20 bombs for the Yankees this year, and nobody would be surprised. Jason Dominguez could go out there and hit 25 home runs, like, and we'd be like, this guy's awesome. Cody Bellinger could go out there with the short porch and hit 30 home runs. Anthony Volpe could go out there. He could have a bounce back season. The offensive numbers could go way up, and we'd be like, we have one hell of a player here. We have Austin Wells, who's looking like he's starting to become one of the best catchers in the entire league. He could go out there, have an incredible year. We have Aaron Judge, a historic type player, generational type player, better than Juan Soto could ever be. And we have Aaron Judge in our lineup doing things out there. And yeah, so they have some guys. I'm really excited about the lineup. And then I'm yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the lineup. That would be the thing to me that I'm really excited for. Another thing I'm excited for is the American League. And you might be like, the American League, like, what does that have to do with the Yankees? Christian, the American League is not as good as we've seen in previous years. They don't have the teams that we've seen in the past with the nasty, super powerful Astros or the 2018 Red Sox. They don't have those type of teams. I think the American League is very balanced. And like you said before, you think the Yankees are going to be in a lot of one run, like gritty type games. I think a large part of that is going to be because the American League is so even. I mean, I don't think there's really a favorite in the American League. I think the Yankees would be the betting favorite because they won it last year. But yeah, no. So I'm really excited about that, and I think the Yankees, going to be in a good spot.
Yeah. Lineup exciting. Everything else, kind of know what we're gonna get. Well,
Yeah.
rotation's a little bit uneasy. I gotta go pretty soon. Let's hop into our predictions for the season. I'll start it off. I think I think either the Yankees or Red Sox will win the division. Also, side note, that's gonna be fun. The Boston Yankees rivalry is back. They're gonna be very, very evenly matched, unlike the past 5 years. I mean,
Yeah.
2018 was when they lost the Red Sox, and then the
Mhm.
Red Sox started to decline like 2020. So yeah, Red Sox are going to be back. That's going to be a good rivalry. And I think those are the two best teams in the division. Orioles I'm not really too worried about. And then Blue Jays and Rays kind of same thing. Look, I think the Yankees are going to fall anywhere from 86 to 90 wins. If I had to give a prediction, I'll say 88. And I think they'll be set up. I think they're gonna have a big trade deadline. I think they're gonna find out that their lineup's a little bit too weak and they're gonna need to improve. And I think they're gonna be fine with pitching. I don't think the rotation is gonna be something to worry about. And I think the bullpen is genuinely just gonna be like clockwork. So
Yeah.
that's my outlook on how I see this season going.
Christian, are we winning the World Series?
Yeah, I mean, obviously. When do we
Love
not?
that.
When do we not?
Exactly. You always got to pick the Bombers to win the World Series. They do have 27 of them. Anyway, to my prediction, Christian, I'm in a similar boat with you. I think the Yankees get anywhere from like 87 to 90 wins. You said 88. Also, the Yankees get 87 wins. Um, I don't know if the Yankees win the East. I think it's a 50-50 coin flip. I do think they're the best team in the American League. I don't, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the teams are evenly matched. I could see Toronto. A lot of people I think are sleeping on them. I really like their rotation. I think Toronto could be really good. Um, Baltimore, I have some questions about. I think Boston will be better. Tampa, you can never count them out. So I don't know if the Yankees ultimately win the AL East. I definitely think they get into the playoffs, no doubt about that. Knock on wood. And yeah, I have the Yankees winning the World Series, and I got them beating the Dodgers in 4 games, clean sweep.
Oh, I didn't give my other team. Last year, I'm pretty sure I had Yankees Dodgers.
Oh, you did? You
Oh,
might have, yeah.
well, one of us had them. Either I had Yankees Dodgers or Yankees Braves. Uh,
Mm.
this year, I think we're getting a Subway Series,
Wow, Christian said we're getting a Subway
and I
Series this year.
think it's gonna go 6 games, and
Six
I think the
games,
New York Yankees are gonna win it,
ending on a Juan Soto strikeout.
ending on a Juan Soto pop up to second base that is caught.
No, Juan Soto. Everyone thinks he just went deep, give the Mets the lead, and then Aaron Judge climbs the fence, reaches back, robs the home run. Soto slams the helmet down. I mean, some things you just, I
Wouldn't
mean,
we
you
love
can't,
that?
right? Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you for listening. We'll be doing these a lot more consistently now that we've started back up. Enjoy opening day tomorrow.
Catch me at the game. Say hi.
Yes, Ryan will be at the game.